So welcome to the third episode, and in this one we'll be diving a little bit more deeper into storytelling and also understand more deeper psychological aspects which led to that particular event or that caused that particular event. So for this one we'll choose the Treaty of Versailles, 1990. How pushing peace after World War I planted the seed for World War II. It's not just history, it's a timeless lesson of resentment, ego, and over punishment that you can spot in business, politics, or in your daily life. So, in 1990, the World War I was ended, right? But the peace treaty, meant to stop the future wars, ended up creating the conditions for the deadliest conflict in human history, the World War II. The Treaty of Versailles wasn't just politics, it was psychology, a masterclass in how punishment, pride, and resentment can backfire, whether in global diplomacy or in your daily life. So let's analyze the entire story and then we'll move on to the psychological factors and after that, the applications. So, what happened was Germany lost World War I. The Allies, especially France and Britain, wanted revenge. The Treaty of Versailles forced Germany to accept full responsibility of the war, paying crushing reparations, disarm its military, and surrender all of its territory. On paper, it was truly peace, but in practice, it was total humiliation. German leaders signed it under protest, calling it the dictated peace. And what was the result? Anger shimmered, resentment grew, and 2 decades later, Adolf Hitler exploited that bitterness to ignite World War II. So, what went wrong? Let's break it down. The first thing was humiliation and ego threat. Humans defend their sense of pride at all cost. When you humiliate a rival, they don't forget, they wait. Most of them have a knee-jerk reaction, but some rivals wait. Versailles didn't just end the war, it attacked the identity. And that's what went wrong. The second thing was resentment psychology. When people feel wronged, they look for someone to blame. The treaty gave Germany a collective grievance, a story of victimhood that extremists could weaponize. And that's what led Adolf Hitler to charge the World War II because they felt that they were the ones who were victim of this treaty. And the third one is overconfidence of the victors. The Allies believed that if we give the harshest possible punishment, which is humiliation, then that would guarantee peace. Psychologists call this illusion of control. The illusion of control, believing you can control future behaviors with force alone. Instead, it fueled the opposite. It fueled them to take revenge. This isn't about nation, it's about human pattern. When you punish harshly, you create resistance. When you humiliate, you create revenge. Peace enforced through pride is never stable. So what are the modern applications of it? How we can possibly implement these things to improve your business aspect or social life or personal life? How we can possibly avoid these kind of things, avoid doing these kinds of things? So in business, a boss who publicly humiliates employees may win compliance in short term, but breeds quite resentment and eventually rebellion. So if you are the kind of individual who is a manager at your workplace, and you publicly humiliate a bunch of employees, then you might think that you win the game. You are now the big boss. Everyone is going to comply with your words. But that in the long run will eventually breed rebellion. Second thing is social life. Over punishing friends, partners, or even children for mistakes often causes them hide and resist and eventually retaliate instead of learning. So if you are the kind of individual, let's say you are a parent, you have a child, and then you over punish them for any mistakes that they make, whether it's about writing a wrong letter or saying something wrong or doing something wrong, then eventually it would lead them to hide the things that they have done. Eventually it would lead them to resist with all of your learnings, your advices, and all of those things and retaliate. They would just disobey every single thing that you would tell them. Same with friends, same with partners. Third thing is personal. If you let ego dictate how you respond or resolve your conflicts, you may win today, but you plant the seed for bigger problems tomorrow. So you need to understand that ego is your enemy. The Treaty of Versailles teaches us that the peace built on punishment is fragile. Whether between nations, companies, or individuals, history doesn't just tell what happened, it shows us the pattern we repeat. And this one, it is worth remembering. Before pride, make us all pay the price again.